I wanted to start the Howl and the Bark as an outlet for telling stories. So, kind of explain this a little bit in the blog. Um, Not a lot of people reading the blog, which is fine because I just started it. But the idea behind the Howl and the Bark is I had listened to an audiobook called Storyworthy, and he does a great job telling stories, and he explained different ways that he comes up with stories and the ways that he thinks about stuff, moments from his past, and even moments that he's actively got going on in his life. Uh, Little 5 second moments happens with his kids all the time. Kind of is what he talks about. And a 5 second moment is a moment of realization. It's a moment of enlightenment. It's a moment of just pure, I guess, like serenity and the circumstances that led to that moment. And I wanted to start doing that, so I designed this, the Howl and the Bark, to as an outlet for doing that. I want to tell stories. I want to get better at telling stories, and I don't know that I'll ever be good at it or great at it, but you don't know until you try. And so this was the opportunity for me to carve time out of my day and start writing and structuring those ideas. And I don't give myself a lot of time right now. For about an hour every day, I sit down and do something. On Mondays, I outline and structure the story that I'm doing for the week. On Tuesday, I do a first draft. My idea for these are to have them be less than 10 minutes worth of story time if I was going to read them out loud or to tell them verbally. And I'm trying to keep them under, I think, 1,000 words when I'm writing them. So I want them to be very short, so I can do a first draft in an hour, no problem. And then on Wednesday, I am editing that story to try to trim it down and get it as concise as possible while still conveying what I'm trying to do. I'm terrible at editing, so that's going to be something I have to learn along the way. But then on Thursday, I want to go through and add more color, more symbolism, more vivid expression, vivid words. Words? Wow, I'm thinking of words right now. And then Friday I publish it, so it's published Friday. So every week I'm writing something, and I get a weekly output for this, and then through Saturday Sunday I try to think about which next story I want to tell. So I have a weekly process that allows me to do this, and then I'm going to turn this Saturday podcast into me talking about those stories, the story behind it, and a little more detail, the things that I cut out of the written part. So I can still tell the story via podcast, but I'm not just reading the story. So it's just a spoken form of storytelling. I'd rather do this behind the story type of thing. So that's what the Howl and the Bark is, and I get to explain my thoughts in it, and hopefully I don't make people hate me because I'm a flawed person, and I'm going to do and say things that are moments that I've made mistakes in the past, and that happens, and that's how we learn. And I hope that nothing that comes out creates conflict for people who like me or like my stories.